Hi, this is Steve Adler. Got a minute? All right, let's go through some numbers. First dashboard. This is where we always start. We take a look at hospitalizations as they're coming in. It has the graph in the middle of the page. You can see that the number today is 12. That number continues to go down in new admissions, 7-day moving average of 18. So we continue to go down. 82 new cases in the cities, again, staying under 3 digits, which is great. The mint colored numbers in the middle give you the 7-day moving averages, 152 in hospitals, 56 ICUs, 35 on ventilators. And the next dashboard we're not going to see quite yet. Whoop, we went to it already. The numbers that we're actually seeing in those 3 areas are lower than what we're seeing in the 7-day moving average. 136 in our hospitals tonight. The 7-day moving average is 152. 51 in our ICUs. It's 56 on the 3-day average. 30 people on ventilators, 35 on the 7-day moving average. That means we continue to move down, which is a good thing. 26,516 people when we had the new cases, 385 have passed away. And that is an increase of 5 people over yesterday. Still a very serious virus. What that means for a city, as we see the numbers that continue to go down as we're moving into stage 3. Let's take a quick look at the UT website. This is also something that you can pull up. The numbers haven't changed from when we went over this yesterday. The R factor is 0.85 in the upper left-hand corner. If we stay below 1, that means the virus is not growing, but in fact slowing down. You can see hospitalizations. That's just like that color-coded chart that we had before, but you can see the projection is flat at this point. That's because we have some variation in the numbers, and we just have to maintain our discipline. All those numbers point to us that we have moved into stage 3 here in the city, risk level 3. That's a good thing in the city. What that means, stage 3, is that it's now less risky. If you go to some of the reopened businesses, that could include restaurants. But still, there's risk. Still, something could go wrong. We could elevate. So if you go to a restaurant, please, if you can, stay outside. Go to a restaurant, best to do it just with your family. Don't be meeting big groups. Don't be changing the groups that you meet with. Still be cautious. The more cautious we are, the better chance we have of being able to open and sustain the opening of schools and the opening of businesses. So let's stay vigilant. We can take a little bit more chances. On social media, you have probably seen that news about APD. We're taking a look at different kinds of staffing plans. One was laid out, hasn't been finalized yet, still under discussion. But it's important for everybody to know that public safety is our number 1 priority. That is our focus. We're not going to compromise that at all. But over the next 8 months, we're going to talk about staffing and different ways to take a look at that with a goal to making us safer. It's important that we don't have our police spending all their time being social workers or mental health first responders, and that we backfill specialists in mental health, and that we bring in more EMS to take over some of those duties. Our police officers are doing a great job. Real important for our city, but we need to keep them focused on fighting crime. So tonight, brought a guest to come talk to us. This is Assistant City Manager Chris Shorter. Chris, thanks so much for jumping on here today.
Mayor, thank you for having me and spending a minute of your 7 minutes talking about homelessness.
I think that's great. Now, you are the Assistant City Manager in charge of homelessness, other things too, but tonight we're going to focus on homelessness. Talk to us about what's going on right now, what the focus is. There's a special program this week. Talk to us too.
Absolutely. Again, thanks so much for having me on. So this is our first ever week of action for homelessness here in Austin. And essentially what that means is that every day of this week, what I mean by that started last Thursday and ends this coming Wednesday, we have a different theme of a way that our residents can get involved, could become aware. And so we are raising awareness for individuals, for organizations around the issue of homelessness. I'll say that this week ends with really, and that's Wednesday, a thank you to our first responders, individuals that are out every day helping those who are experiencing homelessness. And many of you know we are still in the middle of COVID-19 in our response. Throughout this entire few months, we've had individuals in our city, hundreds of folks who are out every day making sure that our homeless population is fed, that they have the services that they need. So we end the week with a thank you to them, and there are different themes every day during the week to raise awareness, to promote giving, and that sort. So just want to make sure that as we, as a city, as organizations, do our best to respond to the epidemic of homelessness here in Austin, that we are inviting individuals to become aware, to give, and to promote, if you will, a willingness to engage where they can and give safely, not the illegal dumping that we see in some instances where folks are just leaving stuff around encampments, but to think about and then organize their giving with organizations that are as a primary core, a primary component of their mission, a core component of their mission, dedicated to helping the homeless population here in Austin. So a full week of activity in campaigning.
And there's a website that people can go to pick up on that. We're going to post that so that you can have the link. There it is on the banner on the show. So a lot of people are looking at homelessness in our community, recognize that the best thing for us to do is actually get people off the street and into homes. We were moving in that direction, and then COVID hit. And then we had the dual challenge of getting people off our street, but also helping to protect this vulnerable population. There were a lot of cities that had real significant clusters and breakouts of the virus in their communities experiencing homelessness. Credit to you, Assistant Manager Shorter, for doing such a good job in Austin. I'm gonna knock on wood here, but you've been able to generally protect that community here in Austin with special protective lodges and the like. Can you describe that for just a second?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Moving people off streets and out of shelters into protected places.
Yeah, and I'll start with saying that the credit really belongs to the men and women who do this work every day. And I really want to give a big shout out to Austin Public Health and the team at Austin Public Health, who's just been really 24/7 for months. Especially, I want to give a big shout out to Bella Carmen, who's been coordinating this effort on the city side in a big way. You're absolutely right. Big cities have really struggled during COVID-19 with making sure that they were supporting the homeless populations. In Austin, fortunately, thanks to your leadership and the leadership of council, we were able to stand up 4 Prolage facilities, and that is essentially hotels that we transformed into facilities to house the homeless population, especially those who were unsheltered, and get them off the street, so that we did not have these sort of pockets, if you will, where the virus was spreading. So we have moved over 300, closer to 350 guests, if you will, into Prolage. They are receiving food, they're receiving services, and we are working really hard to make sure that as we come down off of the COVID-19 response, that we are not returning these individuals into an unsheltered environment. It's a big deal and really speaks to the fortitude of this city that we were able to really ramp up as quickly as we did and serve the population in the way that we did. But we are only truly halfway through. We've done the work of making sure that we remove them to some extent from the danger of COVID-19 and being on the street. But now we have to make sure that as we again ramp down, that we are not returning them back into that same unsheltered environment.
And some of the pro lodges that we have are going to still stay with us even after the virus is over, and you're going to be, and the city and the community will be augmenting those with other of those kinds of permanent supportive housing opportunities. Sometime, Chris, you're going to need to have to come back and take everybody here through what we're doing in order to get people out of tents and off the street. That's not where we want those folks to be either.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely right.
Thanks for all the work you're doing, and thanks for helping to keep that part of our community protected. Thanks, Chris. And for everybody else, I want to say good night and thanks for being with us. And please be safe, stay vigilant, wear your masks.